guys, it is April from Getting Cuckoo with It. Today I am chatting about disappointing thrillers. Those thrillers that you are so excited to read for the summer, like just fluffy summer reads that are getting so much buzz, and I just don't think they were in any way worthy of the buzz that they got. I am realizing that a lot of people are going to disagree with me on these because they're pretty big and did really well, but to each their own. If you like them, wonderful. They weren't for me. So the first one is In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. Now this story is about a girl, Nora, who gets an invitation from one of her old friends to go to this girl's hen. So I guess in England they call bachelorette parties hens, which I prefer better than bachelorette parties. It doesn't matter. She gets invited to go to this hen, and it's in a cabin in the woods far away from other people, and she's going with, I think there's like one person she knows and the rest she doesn't know, and she's gonna see her old friend who she's had a falling out with. So she's gonna see her once more, and she doesn't even know who she is marrying or anything. So I was really excited to read this book because at the time that I read it, I was getting married, and I was honestly totally done with all the planning of the wedding. I wasn't one of those brides who was like, yay, let's go to the, wedding dress shopping, and that was not me. So I needed something to escape slightly, but I thought this would be a fun thing to read. And I did not like this at all. I gave it a 1 star. And it takes a lot to make me give a 1 star. I don't usually like to be that mean, but apparently I can be. So I was really disappointed in the characters. I didn't understand why a girl would go to this hen at all. Like, if you've had a falling out with this girlfriend, you haven't talked to her in forever, why would you even go to this hen randomly? I found that really weird. I found the way that they were together between Nora, the main character, and Claire, this girl that she's had a falling out with, I found their interactions didn't seem in any way sincere. As things started to go wrong at this bachelorette party, I didn't understand why she stuck around at all. I would have been like, bye, see you never, it's over. And I also was not scared at all. Like, I didn't care who lived or died. I wasn't scared at all. I was just like flipping through the pages like, when is it gonna get good? And it never did. So 1 star. The second book that I want to talk about is called Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. And this story is all about a plane crash. So these very, very rich and wealthy and powerful people get on a private plane, owned by one of them, of course, and the plane crashes. And there are 2 survivors. There is an artist who just happens to be invited on this plane at the last minute. So this guy survives, and he also saves a little boy who is one of the rich family's little boys. So there has been so much buzz about this book, and it was huge over the summer. So I thought, oh, this was going to be fun. I really liked the concept of how it kind of changes perspective by each chapter. So each chapter you're either getting the artist, who's really the main character, this guy, or you're getting the perspective of one of these rich people in history, and you find out what their backstory is not always, peachy keen. One of them owns an enormous broadcasting company, and another is in financial trouble. So there are all of these different perspectives, and you're kind of trying to find out, why did this plane go down? Was it one of their fault? Was someone trying to make them deliberately crash? So I thought the concept of that sounded really good, and I nearly actually bought this book, but luckily I got it from the library. And I listened to it on audio, so I don't know if that made the difference, but I did not care for this book at all. I didn't like the main character at all. I thought he was so cliche. Like, I thought Noah Hawley could have done such a better job. Not all artists are, deep and brooding and constantly thinking about the concept of life, and he was all of those things, and I just hated him. I also thought the little boy, like, I was so excited to learn more about his perspective of what happened, and maybe the little boy held the key to everything, and he was just a kid. Like, there was nothing more to him than that. He was just a kid that survived, and I'm happy he survived. But I just expected so much more, and I found that there was a lot of cliches in the writing. The writing could have been a lot better, but sadly, it was like a 2-star for me. I loved the concept, and so I gave it 2 stars just for the concept. So the third book is I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. This is yet another like huge thriller that everyone seems to love. Like, even on BookTube, I found most of the reviews on this one was really, really good. The premise of the story is a woman and her son are walking. She lets him go for a second. He runs into traffic and he dies. So then it follows a woman who is escaping it all. She leaves to go to live in this small little like coastal town, if you can even call it a town. And she lives in this little tiny cottage, and it follows her experiences there. She still feels like something is coming after her. Her past is coming to haunt her. I don't want to give too much away, but I, of course, did not like it very much. I did give it 3 stars, though, and I gave it 3 stars because I really loved the beginning, because I found it cozy in this small little town. That's not a good enough reason, but I did really like the writing of this book. I will give it that. I liked the writing. I will read more Claire McIntosh. I was just disappointed in the ending, which I will not tell you what it was. But, everyone else who's read this book says the twists and turns are freaking out of this world, and I wouldn't have expected it. And I didn't expect the twists and turns as well, but I think there was so much hype around it that I was just like, oh, that's the twist, okay, and it just did nothing for me. So the 4th book is The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, but it's really J.K. Rowling. So I read it because it's J.K. Rowling. Of course, it's going to be amazing. Harry Potter. You don't need to say more to want to read everything she's written. So I was excited about it. It follows the story of a kind of down and out detective. I'm trying to remember his name. Cormoran Strike. And he's just broken up with his girlfriend. His business isn't doing well. He hires an assistant and he can't really afford her, so he's trying to he's going day by day to try and keep her on. So he's not doing well, but in walks this man whose sister is a very, very popular supermodel. This girl, basically, has fallen to her death, and the police rule it as a suicide, and the brother just doesn't think it is a suicide. So it's strike to the case, and I wish that I had liked this more. I like the premise of it, but I didn't believe in the connection between Strike and his assistant. I didn't know why she was sticking around for very little pay, and he's not very nice to her. I just didn't believe in it. I actually ended up giving it a 1 star, and I wonder if maybe if I went on with the series. I have Silkworm, the second in the series. So I'm thinking of trying again. It really might just be that I'm not a detective person. I don't like detective novels very much. So that really might be. The final book that I have here is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ning. Now this is literary fiction slash thriller. I'm just pretending it's a thriller exclusively and adding it into this list. So the story of this is that this Chinese American family, their favorite daughter has died, and they find out, and they simultaneously, like, they fall apart, but you're able to look at it from each and every perspective of them falling apart, and all of them thinking about, like, what happened to this girl? Was she killed? What, did she commit suicide? What happened to her? So I thought that concept was really interesting. However, I thought the characters were very one-dimensional and very navel-gazing, and I thought that it was very unrealistic for someone to live in this world and never ever think about how other people are thinking and other people's perspectives. And I thought it would be strange for an entire family to be entirely navel gazing and never even ask. I didn't understand that at all, and I didn't think it was realistic, and I ended up giving it a 1 star because I was so disappointed in just the navel gazing. Just no, not for me. Those were all of the books that I was personally disappointed with. I know these are like huge favorites with a lot of people, and I'm really glad if you loved them. They were just not for me. But I hope you really liked this, and give it a like and subscribe.